Okay, this is Unit 3, Lesson 7. We are now talking about problem solving with our operations here. So we are talking about the operations being add, subtract, multiply, and divide. So we have to decide in each situation which operation we're going to use, because we're going to be using one of them in each situation. So if something like number 1 is asking about total thickness right here, total thickness, that means you're going to be adding everything together because it wants the total amount. So when you're doing the total amount, you're adding. So we're going to take all of the numbers, 1 inch, 2 inch, and 4 inch. So all we're literally doing is going 1 plus 2 plus 4 equals a 7-inch thick doorway. Okay, so each doorway, if you look over there at the doorway, how thick is the doorway? Well, it's about 7 inches. Okay, it's about 7 inches. If you don't have the notes, Miss Walker has a copy of the notes. Get them out, please. Okay, so this one, our answer is 7 inches. All right, number 2, it says a mechanic checking the alignment of a car finds 2 wheels apart that are 57 inches and the other 2 are 54. What is the difference? Now, this is another key word. When you see the word difference, literally it means subtract. So you're going to take the big number and subtract the small number. So we're going to take 57 and subtract 54, and we're going to get a difference of 3 inches. Okay, so if something wants total thickness, total is adding. If you want difference, difference is subtracting. That's the difference right here. That's how you tell what you're going to do, which operation you're going to use. Okay. Number 3, a jack raises a car for each stroke of the lever. So every time you try to pump your car, maybe you got to take a tire off or whatever it is, the jack that you are pumping your jack, it goes down, it'll go up 2 inches every time. So if it's going up 2 inches every time, how many times do you have to pull your lever in order to get 14 inches? So this one is a divide situation. So you're going to go 14 inches divided by 2 inches. That's going to give you the number of strokes it takes. Okay. So that's going to give us 7. So you're going to have to pump your jack 7 times, and it's going to raise your car 14 inches. Can you stop being dirty-minded? Seriously, I understand the words in this one. Try not to be dirty-minded, okay? I pushed pause. Okay. Seriously, take that out of your brain. We're doing math. All right. Moving on. I'm pushing play again. Okay, it says, Sarah's paper route is 6 miles long. How far does he have to walk in a 3-day work week? So if he has to go that far every day and you want the total, what do we do if we want the total? We would add it, or we would go 6 times 3 days. Okay, or you could do this, 6 plus 6 plus 6. Day 1, day 2, day 3. So there's 2 ways to do it. And we're going to get a total of 18 miles. Okay, so he's going to go 18 miles over the 3 days. That's how far he walks. Okay, now we're talking about cars and putting pinstriping on them. Now it says vinyl pinstriping for cars comes in 200-foot rolls. An average car needs about 23 feet of pinstriping. How many cars can be pinstriped with only 1 roll? So remember, you've got to pinstripe an entire car. You can't just do part of it. You can't do the left side and not the whole thing. You got to do the whole car. So we're going to take 200, and it's a dividing question. Divide 23. That's going to tell us how many. Well, that's going to give us 8.69, yada, yada, yada. Now, this is the number of cars. Number of cars we're talking about. So if we're talking about the number of cars that we're pinstriping, I can do 8 full cars, and then I've got about 70% left, or I should say 0.69 left to do another car. So I have 70% of a full car worth. Can I do that? How many full cars? I want to do full cars. So how many full cars can I pinstripe? Only 8. Okay. Even though typical rounding, we would round that up to 9. When we're talking about actual objects that you have, you don't have enough to make 9. So you can't make 9. It's like buying gallons of paint. If you have 3.75, you can't buy a 3.75 gallon of paint. You have to literally buy another one. Okay. You'll have some left over. That's wonderful. But you have to always buy the extra. So in this case, we have to round down, we cut the decimal off, and we can only do 8 full cars. So we would say 8 full cars. Okay, you can't do just part of a car. If you're pinstriping it, it has to be your whole thing. All right, number 6, it says Susie cuts 25 inches rolls the dough into 2-inch slices for cinnamon buns. How many buns can she make from one roll of dough? Well, if one roll makes 25, and I want 2-inch slices, what do I have to do to those numbers? Add, subtract, multiply, or divide. What do you think? What makes the most sense? Divide, right? So if you've got that roll in front of you and you're chopping it up to make your cinnamon buns, you're literally, like, when you're cutting it, you're dividing it. Okay, that's what you're actually doing. You're portioning it. And when you portion it, that's called dividing. So on this one, we're going to take our 25 and we're going to divide it by 2. And that tells us how many we can do. Well, that's going to give us 12.5. Well, I'm not going to have 12.5. I can't make 13 full cinnamon buns. I can make 12. But if we're baking, are we going to waste that other stuff? No, we're just going to make a little tiny one, right? We're going to make a little half sizer because that's half size. So when you're actually talking about baking and stuff, the answer to the question is 12 only. But in real life, we wouldn't waste the dough. We would probably still put it on and make a little mini one. Okay. Richard's an engineer that has designed an engine that can go 5 kilometers on only 1 liter of fuel. How many liters does it take? 700. This is our cross, multiply, and divide. So this is where we're going to go 5 kilometers. This is our unit pricing. 1 liter equals 700 kilometers. I don't know how many liters. This is what I'm looking for. I don't have an answer there. So what we're going to do is we are going to cross multiply and divide. Now, if you understand that literally all you're doing is taking the 700 and dividing by 5, that's all you're literally doing. Because 700 times 1 is still just 700. So you're dividing by 5. So when we divide that by 5, we're going to get 140. So that means 140 liters of fuel. Most smaller SUVs, they have about a 50 to 55 liter fuel tank. So if I said to you, if it's a vehicle with a 55 liter fuel tank, how many times does he fill his vehicle? If the answer, you can't see it, it froze again. Hang on. We got to undo it and then I'll redo it. It froze. Darn it. All right. There we go. Okay, let's try again. All the way up. There we go. So the cross, multiply, and divide. So 40 liters. But what if your car holds 55 liters? How many times do you have to fill up your gas tank with 140? Well, you would divide. You'd go 140 divided, by 55, and you would see how many times you have to fill up that gas tank. So if I go 140 divided by 55, what are you going to get? Give it a try. It's a repeating number. You're going to get 2.54 repeating. So what that means is I could fill my car 2 full times, and then on the third time, it would only fill it halfway. It would fill it 0.54. Okay? So that's what's going on with that one. I'd be able to fill my vehicle twice and then a half. Okay? So fill car 2.5 times. Okay. Number 8, it says a tower of a dozen dominoes. How many is a dozen?
12.
12, thank you. Is 9 inches high. So you've got a domino on top of a domino, and it totals 9 inches. So it says, what is the thickness of each domino in millimeters? So first of all, we got to go 9 inches. Come on, inch. Divided by 12. I want to find out how many inches is going to be each domino. So we divide by 12. And we're going to find 0.75 inches for each domino. Now we got to change that inch to millimeters. So we're going to look on our formula sheet. And I'm going to show you where that is. We're going to convert inches to millimeters. And we have to multiply by a number. Okay, so I'm going to look at the formula sheet here. I'm switching to the formula sheet. Here's our formula sheet when it comes up. So the one we want, it's going to come up. Come on. There we go. Is the next page right here. So we're going to find inches and millimeters. And one of them I put in there. We have 1 inch equals 25.4 millimeters. So that's what we're looking for. That's the conversion we want. So now we go back to our notes and we say, okay, inches to millimeters. I've got 0.75 inches. I need to times that by 25.4. That's going to give me millimeters. It froze again. Darn it. Okay. Okay, let's try again. Okay. So there's your 19.05. So write those steps down. You're going to have examples in your notes almost identical. You got to write the steps down. Back table, you better have your notes written down, guys. Okay. Okay, when you've got that one finished, turn your page. We have 8 more, then we're done. Number 9, we've got keywords. So please circle or highlight these keywords. We have somebody cutting something. If somebody is cutting something, that means they're dividing it. Okay? Something being cut means they're being divided. So you're cutting a pipe into 6 equal pieces. Okay, so 18 meters divided by 6 pieces means that's going to be 3 meters for each piece. Okay, and it just froze again. So now we got to convert 3 meters to centimeters. So now we're going to go meters to centimeters. So we're going to take 3 meters and times it by 100. That's going to give us 300 centimeters each. So our answer is 300 centimeters. Need to say something? Okay, number 10. Darcy's driving to Winnipeg to Vancouver. The total distance is 3,000 kilometers. If on day 1 he goes 1,200 kilometers, day 2 he does 1,000 kilometers, and day 3, these are kilometers, And day 3, we don't know, but it all has to equal 3,000 kilometers. So how are we going to find that missing number? All right, so we can see how far we've gone. Our last step is to find how many yards we have to swim. We're dividing it, and that tells us how many times we got to go back and forth in the pool. That's basically what it's finding us. So when I do that, it's going to tell me I have to go 8. Come on. 8.372. So you go 8 full ones, but are you going to wait in the middle of the pool and say, okay, I've gone a kilometer, I'm in the middle of the pool? You're going to have to go to the edge of the pool so you can get up and get out. So if that goes 8 lengths, you have to go 9. So you would say I'd have to go 9 lengths. You have to go back and forth 9 times to make 1 full kilometer. That's what that tells us. Okay, because our 8.37, the 3 would not round up, right? The 3 is not going to round the 8 up. And this is the opposite situation as it was for the pinstriping. I couldn't pinstripe another full car, so I rounded down, even though it was a big number. This is a small number, but I have to round it up because it's real life. You can't just sit in the middle of the pool and say, someone get me out of here. You got to literally swim to the edge of the pool. Okay, so that's what's going on with that. So that's why the answer for that one is 9. Okay, we're a little frozen again. All right, let it think about itself for a sec. All right, there we go. Once the time comes on, then it's usually okay.
I wonder about the number. I divided it and I got a different number.
If you go, you should have got 1091.2 divide 50.
Yeah, and I got that number.
You times it. That's timesing. You have to divide.
I did divide.
Divide by 50. Okay, you should get 8.372. Okay, I'll come look at yours. Okay, number 12. Last question on this page. Here we go. Number 12 says a marathon, an official marathon is 26 miles. Every day this person, Karen, runs along a path that's 5 kilometers. How many times do you have to run along that path to run your full length of a 26-mile marathon? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to convert our 26 miles, we're going to convert it to kilometers. The reason we're converting it to kilometers